Hello, fellow educators. So, today we're going to look into strategies for integrating English language learners and multilingual learners. And I'm going to focus it on Shakespeare and how I do this within my classroom in China. So, scaffolding. This is the first key. So, we need to provide multiple entry points to very complex concepts. So, it's Shakespeare is a very complex subject, and it involves a very steady and slow improvement as we go through it. So, we create visual aids to begin with, we simplify vocabulary, and we even encourage students to use their own language for initial explanations and throughout, really, to help them to grasp the concepts and, well, to help them to be able to put into words what they understand about Shakespeare. It's not necessarily all about explaining in English about Shakespeare, it's about understanding Shakespeare. So we need to be able to gauge their understanding. And obviously, as an English person, it's difficult for me to understand that. So this is why I have help in the process. So what I will do sometimes is we'll have a synopsis of a scene, and we'll get students to tell this in their own language. So we'll have multilingual classrooms. Basically, we have languages, not that many, but we have a few different languages that can be spoken in the classroom. We have Japanese, Thai, Chinese, and obviously English and American English. So how do we leverage native languages for deeper learning? So what I'll do is I'll get them to translate certain things. I'll sometimes provide translation for very specific terminology so that they understand it, but most of the time within Shakespeare, I want them to have a look at it themselves. And we'll start with easy synopses generally. It helps them to understand and celebrates their own cultural heritage. One way I do this is I get students to tell the story to each other in their own language. Now, this can be a bit of a mess and it can be confusing, but as long as you set the parameters reasonably in the classroom and you have good classroom control, it generally works quite well. So we have visuals and we'll have gestures that complement the text. So what I'll do is I'll have specific gestures for each emotional mood that the students can learn to help each other understand the context of the lines, and this creates like a layered understanding of for everyone, really, regardless of language proficiency. So what are some best practices for introducing Shakespearean vocabulary? And this is a tough one. We can break down the complex words using definitions. We use synonyms. We even act them out. Certain words are better acted out than they are tried to explain. Interactive activities, sometimes like charades, vocabulary. We use a lot of online tools. We use some online quizzes and things like this, and this helps the students to further understand the scene, and it helps them to remember what these words mean. So by incorporating all of these, we can create an inclusive and engaging learning environment, and every student, regardless of language background, they can thrive, and it can help them to understand Shakespeare. So fostering a supportive multilingual classroom, it unlocks theatre for all students, really, and these strategies aren't just for theatre, they can be easily adapted to other classrooms and subjects. And that is it for my speech on ELL and MLLs. Thank you very much.